There it is. This picnic table is tattered. We're gonna fix it up under 30 bucks. Alright. This is the Behr Premium waterproof and stain and sealer. Cool thing about it is you can have it tinted to the color you want to use. Alright? Any color. They can tint it any color. A stain. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. Then I bought some paint real quick. This is for the legs. And I bought an extra can. I've got some pots I'm going to paint black also. Did get both of these products at the Home Depot. Behr makes a really good paint. Figured I'd try their stain. Let's get to prepping. What I mean by prep work, I mean sanding. It doesn't matter how you get the surface sanded, as long as you get it smooth and ready for the stain, paint, whatever you're going to use to coat the wood, you have to sand it. Some safety glass so you don't get anything in your eyes. Make sure it's not lead paint. No lead paint, people. Okay? So you might have to do it by hand because you don't have no tools. You could use, this is called a palm sander. You could use this, or I'm using a DA sander since I do automotive body work. And for this project, since it's so rough, I'm going to go ahead and use 80 grit for it. Let's get started. Make sure you wear a mask. That's a must. I don't care what you use as far as a mask. They make the little round ones. They're kind of cheap, but they work. They keep the dust out. I'm going to be using this. It's for automotive painting. And worst case scenario, if you're really on a budget, take an old shirt like this, wet it down, tie it around your back of your neck. Perfect. Just protect your lungs, okay? I'm going to get the rest of the prep work done, then we'll move on to stain and paint. Okay, got it all stripped, about as good as I decided I'm going to do. You can sand as much as you want and try to get it as smooth as you want, but this is good enough for me for this application. Wonderful. Now what we got to do, we got to get these legs prepped for the black paint. Go ahead and use 80 grit like I used on the table. I'm just gonna rough this up, something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get in there. I'm gonna knock it down, something like that to smooth it out. Kind of feather this edge out. I'm not gonna take a lot of time on this. And to make it a little easier to sand, I went ahead and I got this crate, propped the table up like this. So the crate's an excellent idea, but what I'm going to use is jack stands. And just like with any time you spray paint, make sure you cover up the important things that you don't want overspray getting onto. On to the fun part. Painting's the funnest part, and I can't wait to do it. And don't forget to wipe off and blow off any dust before you paint and stain. You also want to make sure you mask off the areas that you don't want paint to get on. Since I'll be painting here, I don't want it to get on the wood that I'm going to stain. So we'll just go in here and we'll protect it like that. Okay, so ready to pull the trigger. All right. This is the type of paint we're going to use, this Rust-Oleum. It's a paint and primer in one, so we're good there. Respirator, painter's respirator is what I'm using. If you don't have a painter's respirator, at least get something over your mouth and be in a well-ventilated area. And I'll be ventilating this paint with an exhaust fan that's in my wall. I got a 2x4 down here at the bottom of my garage door to allow air to come through, and it'll go up and right out this exhaust fan here. Well, let's get started. It's not bad paint at all. I would definitely use it again in the future, that's for sure. It's got good coverage. You know, it's a primer and paint in one. Kind of get to eliminate a step. So it's definitely a decent paint. Woo! We nailed it. No drips. No drips, no runs. Gotta love it. It's not bad stuff. Came out sweet. Came out really, really sweet. Hey, just sanding the wood down and painting the legs black made a huge improvement. It's going to be nice once we get the stain on here. Let's put some stain on this. This is going to look awesome when it's done. Cool. So I allowed the legs to dry overnight. Got the jack stands off of it. Got the table slanted to the ground. I just masked off the legs so we don't get any of this stain on our freshly painted legs. So let's open this can and see what we got. I'm not really going to elaborate on this. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You can read the directions. Everybody at Home Depot was very helpful with making this happen. But with this stuff here, you're able to have it tinted to a color that you want. So I chose desert sand because it's similar in color to, whoa, beautiful. Well, so there you have it. It's similar to the color of our patio furniture. So that's why I went with this color. Weird, it's consistency of like in the middle of paint and stain. It's like in the middle. Well, I basically like to work from my left to my right, so let's get started. Wow. It's going on like a paint for sure. It feels like a paint rather than a stain. It's kind of thin. It's easy to work with. They say you can use a roller. I'm using a brush because this wood is so weathered, and maybe allow me to get into a spot like that or into a spot like this, get some of that stain in there. I'm sorry, I got the shake going on. I'm sorry. So they say use thin coats. Put thin coats on and drag as far down as you can, which I'm doing. 2 thin coats, it says. Try to do this so you don't have any streak marks in here. Kind of a crazy color, huh? It's actually a little darker than I thought it was going to be, but that's alright. Compared to what this table used to look like, for 30 bucks, this thing's going to look amazing. Alright, well, here's the top 3 boards with 1 coat. Got this deep groove in here. I just kind of put that in there kind of thick. Like that. And after I'm done doing that, then I go to spreading this out. I cannot believe how great this looks after 1 coat. Check it. So I'm going to get started on that 2nd coat. So I just got done with the 2nd coat, and I did the seats first. And you can see how well it has sealed it up in the 2nd coat. There it is. This picnic table is tattered. It was tattered, but it ain't tattered no more. Big difference. Came out phenomenal. There it is. This picnic table is tattered, but it ain't tattered no more. We're gonna fix it up. Big 30